This is the Rugby Muscle Podcast, talking all that you need to become the best rugby player you can be. Now here are the Rugby Muscle coaches, TJ and Alex.
Yes, boys. We are here with the Rugby Muscle Podcast. I'm currently eating an apple, so you might be able to hear my voice change a little bit. That is a new generic tune. We're getting in too much trouble with copyright infringement for playing random songs. So I don't know. Of the 6 people that listen to this podcast, 1 of them or 2 of them must be complaining or something. I think they detect it automatically, actually.
No, so, fuck these guys.
We could literally have no listeners and we're still getting complaints. Brilliant. Anyway, how's things, Alex?
Yeah, good, mate. I
see you posting graphs on Instagram these days.
Yeah, well, I'm being super geeky with that. Tracking all my stats and training.
So my dad now has an Instagram account, mate. I was going to save this for the fact of the week, but this is... Huh?
What's his name?
I think Dom Jankowski UK. Go give him a follow. That'd be lit.
I'm doing it right now, mate.
Great. What you'll see is a new updated Instagram profile that he's done, because he had Instagram, he got it like 2 weeks ago. He uploaded... He followed 3 people, which is me, my wife, and Man United FC. And then he had one picture that he uploaded, and that was of a gas meter, you know, like the meters that you get outside a house.
Yeah.
Reading. Yeah, for some reason he put that picture. That was his one Instagram picture that he put, and obviously I gave it a like because I'm a nice person.
Wait, he's following 15 people now, mate. So
he knows what he's doing, man. Don't you find it weird that like older people, like he's definitely a smart guy, but when it comes to technology, he's really stupid. Even though technology is really easy,
it's a generational thing, mate. It's just being around it, right?
Yeah, like I like for fuck's sake, I'm not clever. Yeah, I've figured out how to record, publish, edit, and do all that for a podcast. So
yeah, mate. My little brother's awful. Like I had to teach him how to use Snapchat the other day. And I don't even use Snapchat.
You taught him, and you know, I know what you think Snapchat's all for, so why are you teaching him?
He wanted to know how to use Snapchat, mate.
All right.
I didn't send him any pictures, though.
Anyway.
It's time for the facts of the week.
Alex, what's this week's fact, mate?
Oh, it's a February-based fact, mate, because we're in February.
We are.
So, a little known fact, I went to a public school. Like a private school, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So, in the UK, they're called public schools, but they're private schools.
It's because anyone can go to them. That's the reason why. Like they're open to anyone in the public who can pay for it. I was on a scholarship, so that doesn't count.
Anyway,
we had to do Latin as part of our curriculum.
Huh?
Yeah, I know, right? Completely useless. Actually, it's not. It's kind of handy. So in Latin,
is it? How's it handy?
Because I can understand. So
people always have Latin phrases on their T-shirts, and now you know what they mean.
Yeah, and like a lot of medical stuff is either written in Greek or Latin. Oh. So it's kind of, it just makes life a little bit easier in that way.
Still useful.
Easier to understand.
Still useless, sorry.
Well, it's kind of interesting in etymology as well. But anyway, in Latin, the word for February means purification.
Purification?
Yeah. But
right.
I'm told that in Welsh...
So we've got detox, yeah?
Fuck that. In Welsh, apparently it just means the little month, which I think is wonderful. So if we have any Welsh listeners, I'd quite like them to get back to me and just tell me if that's true.
The little month, because it's only got 28 days?
28 or 29, depending on leap year.
That's genius. This month's a little bit... It's littler than the rest. We're going to call it what should we call it? I don't know, just call it
Little Month. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, genius.
Call it Little Month. Get it over with.
That's awesome. All right,
Yeah,
so Yeah, I guess.
Wow, that's an interesting fact.
Sweet. Okay, cool.
I forgot to play him on the last podcast. I don't know if anyone
That's
picked
all
that up.
right, mate. I
Probably
didn't know.
not.
I don't think anyone else did.
Anyway, we are recording today. We're discussing the Pareto Principle and how you can apply it to become awesome.
Sweet. Do you want to tell us what it is? What's more commonly known as?
No, you can tell us.
Sweet. So you guys might have heard of it before under a different name, which would be the 80-20 principle. Mm-hmm. Which was defined by Pareto, who I believe was an economist. You might double check that.
Yeah.
And it said 80% of the growth or the profit or the good stuff comes from 20% of your effort. So it makes sense to figure out what that 20% is and then go all in on that, rather than sit back and try and do everything, even the 80% of stuff which is only giving you 20% of your results, your good results.
You're correct, by the way. The Pareto Principle is named after economist Vilfredo Pareto.
He was an Italian dude, wasn't he?
You're just saying that because that's what his name is.
You're right, I definitely know his job, but not his nationality. That makes total sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, yeah, so he stated that 20% of invested input is responsible for 80% of the results obtained. Yeah?
Yeah, so I guess we're not hedge fund managers or anything, and this is a rough guide. It's not always going to be 80-20, but even if it's 25-75, or even if it's 60-40, you always want to do the most.
I was also thinking, even if it's like 50-80, you still want to prioritise that 50% because it gives you more than the other 50%. Doesn't actually have to add up to 100, does it?
Well, yeah, it does make sense.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, because it's not input versus output. It's 20% of your total input gives you 80% of your total output. So you could still have 20% give you 90% of your total output, right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
No, you got this wrong.
No.
The total output is 100%. The total effort is 100%.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're 200%. It means you have 100%.
No, because you've got 100% input and then 100% output. So if I do half of my work, but it gives me 90% of my results, that's 50-90.
That's not.
Yeah, it is.
That's not what they're saying. That's not. We'll just disagree on this, mate.
We will. Right.
Okay.
I want people to hop onto Facebook and send me a message. TJ, you are right. So go and find TJ.strength1 or TJ Strength on Facebook. Tell me I was right, and then I'm going to screenshot it and post it to Alex because.
And I will promptly ignore it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Wicked.
So basically, what we're saying is, a lot of people do so much shit, but it's only a few important things that make the difference. How about that?
Yeah,
I think that was actually what Pareto said, and then they changed it to make it sound more sciencey and specific. But we think there's a number of ways that you can apply this principle to your training, your nutrition, and just your lifestyle to improve your body, to improve your performance, and just to become an overall badass, right? I'll begin here with our first one, which is in terms of recovery. The majority of how well you can recover is going to come from sleep. So if you can get a quality 8 hours sleep, if you can get even more by way of naps or just a good consistent longer sleep, that is going to lead to the majority, so the 80% of your recovery, because we see too many people doing, they spend an hour on the foam roller, they spend an hour doing hot yoga, and then they do an hour of active recovery by going out and doing a run, when in actual fact, they're sacrificing sleep to do that, and that's not going to make them recover. Sleep is the number one indicator of recovery. If you sleep really well, you're going to recover better, you're going to perform better. None of these other recovery methods are even going to come close to matching the benefits of what sleep does.
Do you know how much force you need to put through a foam roller to actually affect muscle?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, 2,000 pounds.
Yeah, because when you think about, I think this is from Quinn Hennock. Is like if you these people, if you just put a barbell on your back, surely that's just basically foam rolling your back. You know, you just crumble under it.
Yeah, so it's actually just a neurological change rather than any actual physical lengthening of the muscle. You're actually better off doing 5 minutes on a bike if you're wanting to change muscle lengths. Mm-hmm. But that's by the by. Just a little thing about foam rolling there. Mm-hmm. Maybe that should be the fact of the week. Yeah.
Next time. Actually, you've already given it away. But let's talk about sleep. I think we've spoken about our tips for sleep before, but we'll run them through real quick. You know, try and limit your caffeine intake as the day goes on. Try and limit your water intake an hour or two before you go to sleep, because you don't really want to wake up and have to pee in the middle of the night. That disrupts your sleep. Anything else, Alex?
Yeah, get lights off.
Yeah,
like an hour before bed.
So my modem is in my bedroom. For some reason, they thought that was a really good place. But when it's pitch black, that little tiny green light flashing is so bright. Yeah, so what I've done is just got a bit of tape and I've taped over it.
How do you know if your internet's working?
It's working now.
That's rhetorical.
Alex, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, mate. I got you.
Yeah, because then that means my internet's working, mate.
Yeah, no, it was rhetorical.
Okay. What does rhetorical mean?
Like the actual one, is this a rhetorical question?
Yeah, it was a rhetorical question. Good man. All right, sweet. Let's now move on to the next point. So basically, get your sleep in. Don't worry about your other recovery methods until you've consistently got a good, what do you want to say, 8 hours sleep, and you're feeling really refreshed.
Depends who you are, but yeah. 8 hours is pretty good.
But nothing is going to replace sleep as a recovery method. Nothing is. And we've spoken before about how ice recovery and hot and cold recoveries can actually stop you from getting stronger and bigger. If you don't know about that, listen to the old podcast that we spoke about recovery. So, just get your sleep in.
Sweet.
Yeah,
What's
next one? Next one is food is going to be way more important than supplements. So food is going to give you all of the benefits that supplements would give you if people spent their time and focused on getting the right foods in.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to spend a lot of time on this. If you're trying to get all your nutritional supplements, you need to really take a step back and look at your life.
If you're like, TJ, I'm looking to gain weight, or I really want to gain muscle. What do you think about this supplement? Or I've got 12 weeks to get in shape. What about these supplements? None of those matter anywhere near as much as getting your diet on track. Your diet's going to dictate your results way more than any supplements. That's not saying that all supplements are worthless. That's just saying that they are the 20 in this case, I guess.
They're supplemental, yeah.
Definition.
And fucking cooking's cool. Learn to cook. Get some real food in you.
Yeah, and learn to cook easy things that you don't have to put a lot of effort into doing. Easy.
Sweet. Food.
All right.
Done.
Next one. Still on the topic of food, we're going to talk about calories. Is going to be your 80, and then your 20 is going to be looking at different specific types of food. So
we're talking about calories versus food choice. Yeah,
because at the minute, it's very, because we're not in January anymore, but it always seems to be. I guess we said we're going to detox because it's the cleanse month. What was it?
Purification, mate.
Purification. There you go. Anyway, so you get all these different foods that are like, oh yeah, pineapple is perfect at doing this, and then goji berries. Do you like goji berries, mate?
I didn't know what goji berry is.
Yeah, and then you can enhance the power of almonds, and you can basically every food. People that don't really know about nutrition will like hype up every food, and you have to get in.
We all know that almonds are just a cheap substitute for amaretto, so we can move over that.
Yeah, so just have amaretto instead, right?
Yeah, sorry, just.
I don't think that's the point.
Amaretto.
But the point is that individual foods, and it's also the same thing as avoiding certain foods as well. Unless you're lactose intolerant or you have celiacs, no one food is going to fuck up your results. No one food is going to make your results perfect. It's actually going to be about your total caloric intake, your carbs, your protein, your fat. A little bit about the timing, but we're not going to worry about that. It's the total intake, the total what your food looks like over a day or even over a week, rather than one bad meal or one perfect meal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything else on calories versus food?
Yeah, I mean, we're not saying food choice doesn't matter. We're just saying it's not the 80%.
Yeah. Yeah, don't. Cool. I mean, and this is a good point actually, because I do want to caveat this, because a lot of it's now trendy. Like, if it fits your macros it's really trendy, and flexible dieting. And you have all these fucking hippies that are like, oh, you can eat whatever you want, man. It fits your macros, and eating what you want to adapt your body and get skinnier or get ripped or whatever is one thing, but eating to perform. And as a rugby player, you should want to perform at a real high level. That's a complete other thing. So
yeah, if it fits your macros, works well as long as you're already in shape. You're from like 17 to 25 and you're a guy, you know. And those are the guys you see getting these amazing results in it without putting some effort into food choice and.
Yeah, but make sure you're eating and getting good energy for your training sessions and good energy to recover, but overall look at your total intake rather than certain foods, and by that same token, if you don't like a food, you don't have to eat it. Alright, that'll do us for that. Next one we're looking at is different sets and reps. Is going to be, it's the same thing I guess, but applied to training rather than calories and food. We're looking at different sets and reps is going to be more important than looking at certain specific exercises.
So what we're saying is rep range is greater than exercise choice.
Yeah. So.
And we can dig further into that in a second, but quickly explain to us what we mean by, or what we want to achieve by doing, say, 8 sets of 3 rather than 3 sets of 8.
A lot of time, especially like a lot of the time on the internet, you get articles or in Men's Fitness or whatever, and they say, oh, this one perfect exercise you've got to do, and so it could be the squat, or it could be a back squat, or it could be a clean, or whatever. But the exercise itself doesn't dictate your results so much so as the rep range. So, say if I'm looking at doing.
Well, let's not say rep range. Let's say the load on the bar, and the load actually dictates the rep range.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So it's not the actual exercise choice. It's what you want to get out of it. Then you look at how heavy you need to go, or how much reps you want to do out of that. Then you find an exercise that can fit that quite well.
Yeah. So actually, we're looking at outcomes here. Like outcome data, you can't beat outcome data. Mm-hmm. So we look at what we want to achieve, how do we achieve that, and then we fit our methodology into that.
Yeah. So a good example of this is like, well, people say you've got to deadlift, and I think, Alex, you love deadlifting, right?
I do like a deadlift.
Right, but what if someone is they're in a fat loss phase, they're in season. So they're taking a beating anyway. They're hopefully eating less calories than they're burning. So their recovery is going to be at a premium. I wouldn't have them doing any deadlifts, because those deadlifts would absolutely tire them out.
In fact, out of all my clients, I only think 2 are doing deadlifts. One because he's doing strongman, and one because he just wants to.
And this isn't to say that deadlift is a bad exercise. I mean, we fucking love.
No, I deadlift. I love deadlift.
Yeah, but each exercise has to have Each exercise has a purpose, right? Mm-hmm. It's not you don't create a purpose for an excuse to do an exercise. CrossFit. You you figure out what you want to do, and then you figure out how to achieve it. And a lot of the time, different exercises won't work. So, I mean, we said on our last podcast, back squats have been omitted from my training at the minute because I'm trying to train a little bit higher reps, and I'm trying to get my recovery in from intense in-season training. So back squats have to go. But that doesn't mean that I'm not training legs. It doesn't mean I'm going to get smaller. That means that I'm doing something else instead, which lends itself easier to the goals that I'm trying to achieve.
Okay, well, let's put this in the quick content. So let's say our goal is to increase the strength and size of our chest. Mm-hmm. We can put better to be able to. This is a bad example. Be able to hand off better. Okay. Mm-hmm. You could say, okay, to increase strength in a horizontal pushing movement, we want a bench press. But if bench press isn't doable, we can always say, okay, we're going to do strength ranges, which is anything from I like a 3 to 6 kind of deal for that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we do that. How many reps you want to do? Well, we look at Prelipin's table and go, we're going to do 3 to 6 reps. This is blah blah percentage. So we're going to do 3 to 6 sets.
Mm-hmm. And you look at previous week's training. You want to make sure you, or if it's the start of a cycle, it doesn't really matter too much. You want to start quite low volume and gradually add it in. Yeah,
build up, and then you pick exercise. So you're still going to get strong if you just did, like really heavy sets of 3 on like a prone chest press. You know,
just a machine. Even though we're not. I mean, we've said before, we're not like free weights are going to be a lot of the time preferred over machines, but there's no reason to say that you're not going to get results using machines.
There's plenty of bodybuilders who got fucking strong using machines, you know.
For sure. And then the last point of this is, so I guess to wrap this point up, right, is we always look at stuff for rugby, and I get messages quite often like where people will say, oh, I'm this certain position. What exercise or what movement is going to make me better at my position? And the answer is getting bigger, getting stronger, getting fitter, and moving better, right? That's what's going to make you a better player, and then getting better at your skills. Everything that you do in the gym is general prep. None of it's really going to be specific other than actual getting out there and doing practice. And then even then, we've spoken about specificity before, you know, you're actually just training to make sure that you become better. You're not actually trying to practice exact movement. So especially when you're working like hypertrophy ranges, so if you're doing a lot of volume, you don't have to worry about being rugby specific. You just have to worry about muscle building specific or getting stronger specific, right?
I saw a weighted scrum machine a while ago. That's pretty specific. I saw a weighted scrum machine. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, getting on a scrum machine is good, but I mean, you can still be better at scrumming by getting stronger legs, and I
totally agree. It's just a specific deal that I hadn't seen before, and just what I bring up. It was pretty cool.
Have you seen that French one? The robot.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Go look it up, mate. There's like a complete scrum machine that uses hydraulics, and it's like the most advanced thing you've ever seen. Yeah.
Okay, well here's the cool deal. Okay. This is do we have time for a tangent quickly?
Well, I mean, 20 seconds is on the what's left on the timer.
Fuck, let's stop the timer now. I'm going to go on a quick tangent. So the idea of having hydraulics in a training program is something I've been playing with for a while, because what you're looking at to increase maximal strength is maximal exertion, right? So if you can get a bar on hydraulics.
Oh, that's a shame.
No, this is interesting, mate.
At
least if you're into science and geeky stuff like me. But or like, you'll see what's relevant in a second. So say I put a bar on your back and it was hydraulically pushed down, right, to whatever depth you could get to, and hydraulically came back up. You could exert your absolute maximal isometric strength against that bar the whole time for the whole range of movement.
Yep.
Yeah. So in effect, you get a much longer and much more powerful contraction.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And you wouldn't have to worry about getting rid of this compensatory acceleration training, because you're always exerting maximal effort. So there's no easier point in the squat.
Oh.
You wouldn't have to worry about fatigue because you only put out what effort you could.
What you can
because
put out.
You can't get crushed under the bar because it's on a set range of motion. The only deal is the recovery will be really difficult, but then because you're getting such a high stimulus from it, maybe you only need to do 2 or 3 reps a session in a certain exercise. Anyway, these are just musings I've had for a long time, and I don't know how the works.
I've explored with this idea before. I think the closest we can get to that is doing isometrics and stuff like that, getting in your training.
Isometric dispositions, yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's nothing like that, but it's just a thought the way you can push maximally against it, like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've got a few guys at the gym who are pretty smart who might be able to do something like that. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now that we've wasted 3 minutes of the podcast, confusing everyone about hydraulics and stuff, we've got one more to go in terms of the 80-20 principle, and I've written it down as getting some work done over trying to reach perfection or trying to achieve perfection every single session. And by this I mean we as humans, especially this generation with the internet about and so much information going out there and conflicting information at that, is people are very good at overanalyzing everything. They're very good at trying to find the perfect thing, and it goes so much so that, what are you doing? You moving?
I've got my drink, mate.
Yes, stay still. People overanalyze so much that it cripples them. They're so worried about getting the perfect rep range or the perfect movement that they end up, so stressed out by it that they don't actually get any work done. And the easiest way, I guess, to solve this is by always having a plan ahead of time. Now, whether that is a coach, like one of us, both currently hiring, if you're interested,
I have
over to rugby-muscle.com/coaching for more information, or you just have a program. You don't have to buy one. You can get a free one. We've mentioned 531 before. It's not necessarily rugby specific, but it's very good. And just following something to the T is a real good way of not having to waste any sort of effort thinking about what to do. And I always find this, even if I get a program, like this is me as well, like if I get a program, a free program or a buy program or whatever, I'll always be inclined to try and alter it because I know how my body responds and I want to make little differences. But then the overanalyzing starts. So you start to make a little change and you make a bigger change, and then all of a sudden it's not the same program and you're still doing the same guesswork that you were doing before, and you're thinking.
I'll tell you a way around that, mate. Is stop getting free programs.
Yeah.
And this isn't directed at you specifically. I know it wasn't you, but if you pay someone for a program, one, you're going to get something of a high quality, and two, like, it's valuable, right? So say someone buys a program off you for $200. I don't know what you charge for individual programs. Then that's $200 worth of like programming there. Like, you don't want to fuck with that because then you can, like, if you break it, you lose your money, right?
Yeah.
So if you really legitimately want to become a better rugby player, and you're not completely sure about what you're doing in the gym or your programming or your technique or whatever it happens to be, like, drop $200-300 on a program or get some coaching, because your money's better spent doing that than pissed away on beer or whatever else you're going to be doing with it.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny that so many people, and good on you, listener. You listen to this sat in your car now. Good on you for tuning in, because you're just trying to find out more and more information, and that's great to help you and to figure out exactly what to do. But what's even better is if someone was there telling you what to do every single time, or you have a program that tells you what to do every single time, and that way, because you've only got a finite amount of, not motivation, willpower. And if you're spending that willpower thinking of what to do, that's not going to be transferred to hard training. You're not going to push yourself as much. So if you are interested in programming from us, I actually will be releasing some programming guides / templates that you can download. You pick how it can work for you, and they're all goal specific. So it's not just a generic program. They're all specific to each goal, and you can find those on tjstrength.com. Or if you want to be coached by one of us, hit us up. Alex, hit him up on Instagram. Yeah,
Instagram, Facebook. But you can find me by searching just Alex Miller on the Facebooks, and I'm the exact picture you think it is. I'm not wearing clothes, and I have a big dumbbell in my hand.
Looks like a troll, like not.
Yeah, that's essentially it.
Troll. Yeah, and then if you like my stuff, because I'm not gonna make you buy a hydraulic bar.
I'm not making him buy it. I will.
I'm joking. But yeah, I think that's it. So if you're interested in our coaching services, that's it. Get in touch. If not, then no worries. Carry on training, but make sure you've got a plan to stick to each time. I think that's such a big thing. Rather than trying.
Yeah, and if you got this, the final thought from me.
And then the other thing is, sorry, my final thought first.
You just shush me.
Can I have my final thought first? I'm gonna have my final thought first. My final thought first is that now I've forgotten it.
I'll go first, mate. If you're gonna have a program.
Oh, that was it. If you're gonna have a program, stick with the program for give it a few months, rather than too many people hop from program to program. You're never gonna get the benefits of it if you do that. Stick with it for a few months. Stick to it the exact way it's written out, and progress the exact way it's laid out for you to progress, and that way you're gonna really feel the benefits. Some of them, you don't feel it until a few months in, and then all of a sudden you're destroying people.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty much what I was going to say, so that's good.
Oh, good. Let's wrap up the podcast. By the way, you didn't get an email then. That was me, and we recorded it. Excellent. Go follow us on our socials and give us a 5-star review. Oh, I said I was going to shout a few people out, so let's do that real quick. Right, so because my iTunes store is in the US, I don't get the guys that are from the UK reading or their reviews. I can't see them, so only Alex can see them. We're going to give those guys a shout out on the next podcast, but for now, I'm going to give a shout out to all the individual countries that are currently tuning in or have tuned in to us, specifically the most recent podcast. And we're looking at shout out to you, listener from Switzerland, and you from Malaysia, you from Namibia, and you from Netherlands, and the guy from Belgium. Shout out to you. The guy from Portugal. Shout out to you. Oh, we got Korean as well. Alex, would you like to move there?
Korea? I go to South Korea for sure.
You think that would be a good career move for you?
Fuck you.
Shout out to our Costa Rican listener, our Israeli listener, the guy from Japan and Hong Kong, and your Spanish, China, Germany, Singapore. There's only a few from South Africa. And then, shout out to all those big countries as well, obviously, that listen to us. Those big ones, United States, United Kingdom, Australia, Ireland, Canada, New Zealand, France, Brazil. Hola to you Brazilians. Is that right? Is that Portuguese?
I think it's close enough.
We've also got Bahrain, because that's where I used to live, and other regions. So shout out to all of you guys for listening. If you could, go and give us a 5-star review. We will read your reviews out on the next podcast, won't we, Alex?
Yeah. I know for a fact that there is Argentina in there as well, which you didn't say.
Did I not?
No, but it might not have been the last one. They might not have listened to it yet.
Well, yeah. All right. Well, fair enough. Shout out to you, you argy-bargy, and we'll see you in the next podcast.
Sweet.
Boom.